Are you someone that's looking to become a licensed real estate agent and you just don't really know where to begin? Well, in today's video, I'm going to go over the steps to get your real estate license, which is actually pretty straightforward and pretty simple. Now, once you get that selling houses, that can prove a little bit more difficult. But in this video, I'll show you the steps you'll need to complete to get your real estate license in New Hampshire. Hi, and welcome to my channel. If you don't know me, my name is Moynihan, and I'm a real estate agent and investor based out of Keene, New Hampshire. So if you are someone or know someone that's looking to buy, sell, or invest around the New Hampshire area, please feel free to reach out. Or even if you just have questions on this video and about getting your license, feel free to shoot me a text and I'd be happy to help. My contact info, of course, is here and down below. And if at any point in this video it provides some value, I'd really appreciate a like, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button as I do release these weekly videos. And without further ado, let's dive right in for how you can get your real estate license. All right, so if you are someone that's looking to get your real estate license, you're in for quite the adventure. I will say, for my time in the last 3 years of having my real estate license, it has been a blast, I will say. I personally love the industry. I love being able to create my own schedule, work when I want to, really actually provide value to my customers and clients to help them find the house they want or sell the house that they're trying to move away from and move on with their life. So if you really find a passion for this, I really hope that this will be the career that really shows some benefits for you. But right now I'm going to go over the requirements or things you need to hit to be able to get a license in New Hampshire. And then I'll kind of break down the costs and what the actual test kind of things are that you have to hit and the deadlines, because there are a few deadlines from once you complete the course to when you have to actually take the test by, or you'd have to retake the course. And then I'll touch base just a little bit on what to do after you complete the course and complete the actual test to get your license. So the steps to become an actual agent are: you have to be over 18 years old. You have to take a 40-hour New Hampshire pre-licensing course, which this really isn't that bad. It's only 40 hours. For me, there's a couple different structures the way you can do it. You can either do it like weeknights, which some schools offer. There's a couple different schools in New Hampshire that offer this. So you could either do weeknights, or the one that I had, I actually found did weekends. So I believe it was 4 weekends or so on Saturday and Sunday. And they were pretty long days because they were, instead of doing like a 4-hour section, they would do 8-hour sections. So we got it done super fast over a couple weekends, which for me worked super good because I still had another job at the time. So it would have made it hard to do weekdays. So that's why I opted for the weekend course, but that worked out great. Then once you finish the actual pre-licensing course, you apply to take the test. Go to the state, you take a 120 question test, which I believe it's 80 of them are a national portion of the test. And then you have the state portion of this test, which is only 40 questions. And this really narrows it down to the particular state that you're actually trying to get licensed in. And those questions are definitely a little bit more niche. And for me, were the ones I had to pay attention to a little bit more. Then once you actually pass your test, this is when you just go find a job and apply to a brokerage and hang your license, is what they call it, where it's a legit, you get a copy of your license and your broker has to hang it in that office to show that you're hung your license at that broker. And now that broker takes you on as an agent. So everything you do technically goes through your broker's license because you're only an agent. So that's why you can't just work freely on your own independently. Since you're only an agent, you have to go through a broker. Now, what is the cost associated for something like this? It's actually not terrible. I believe you could do the whole thing for under $1,000, and that's probably even a lot. So I think the pre-licensing course was anywhere from $250 to $500. I want to say I paid about $300. This was a few years ago, but I paid about $300. Then you got the license exam fee, which is $125. And if you fail, you have to repay that when you go back to retest. So you'll want to try to get it on the first try. I do have a little story I'll throw in the end about what I had to do because it was a pain in the butt. And then you got your license fee, which is about $90 when you actually get it to hang at your brokerage. So, I mean, essentially you could get into all this for, if you actually pass the first time, that's kind of the variable. Say $300, $150, that's $450, and then $90. So you're looking at $580 to get your license and start becoming a licensed real estate agent, which is super cool because the barrier to entry is low, but that's the easiest part. Once you actually get your license, that's where the work begins in actually finding clients to sell homes to and sell homes for. So here are some important licensing deadlines, like I mentioned earlier. So once you actually sign up for the 40-hour course, you have 6 months to complete that 40-hour course because, again, some of these can be done online, so they're kind of at your leisure when you want to take them. Personally, I would say take them all in a bulk so you really have all the information top ahead when you go to take the test, because it's hard to remember that stuff all the way through. And then once you finish your pre-licensing course, you have 6 months to actually take the state exam, and I believe it's 3 months to apply for that state exam. So you can apply within the 3 months, and even if your date's a few more months, you have that 6-month period to do it. And if you don't take the test in that time, basically your pre-licensing course becomes null and void, and you would have to reapply and retake that just to do the license. So if you're gonna commit to pre-licensing course, you have to at least take the test to see if you pass, because if not, it's legit just a waste. And then once you actually pass your state exam, you have 6 months to apply and get your actual real estate license. And like I just mentioned, some of these you can take online. I took mine in person, but it was also right before the whole COVID pandemic. So I was able to sneak in there in person, and my class was legit 3 people, and then one person dropped out about 2 weeks in, which was like halfway through. So it was literally 2 people and the instructor. So I definitely learned a lot, and it was kind of cool, but it was a little weird having such a small class, but I enjoyed it. And then a lot of people asked me, how hard was the actual state test? And the national portion, I passed easily. Like, that stuff was pretty quick. I was able to retain that information really good. But like I mentioned earlier, the 40-question state portion is really where they niche down the questions and make it a little bit more difficult. And when I first took my test, I'll tell you the little story now. When I first took my test, I went in there confident as can be, went in, passed the national portion, fine, fantastic. They did great on that. The state portion, though, they showed me the results too, which really stung because I failed the state portion, but I failed it by 1 question. Literally 1 question. So that really ate at me. And the reason it did wasn't because I had to pay the $125 again. That I was fine with. The thing that sucked was the pandemic hit right after I took my first time taking the test. So I had to wait another 6 months before I could even take the test again. So that whole period, I had to just basically keep studying for that whole time. So I definitely know all the stuff now, but it was a pain in the butt. And the biggest thing was like, come on, I missed it by 1 question, which was kind of a bummer, but hey, that's all right. Second time I took it, passed fine, and moved on. But it was a little bit of pain in the butt just because that's when the pandemic happened to hit. And for passing scores on those, you have to get 70% on both sections. So they are scored separately. That's why I was able to pass the national portion. And then when I went back, I only had to take the state portion and retest that section, which was nice. But still, that was the more niche section where I was really trying to pay attention to all of the little specific rules that apply strictly to New Hampshire. But as far as it goes, that's basically all the requirements you have to hit and the steps you need to take. So you really just kind of go right into it. You sign up for the course, take that 40-hour licensing course, and then go apply to take the state test and the national portion. Pass that, and then you apply for your license, and then find a brokerage to hang your license at. And within a matter of a few months, you can be selling real estate. So it's definitely a low barrier entry job, and it's great because there's so much potential with the job. But I will say, so many people, and I mean so many people, either treat this as just a side gig, which is fine. If that's what you're going into this with, perfect. But if you're going into this with the intentions of, I'm going to take this course, once I get my license, I'm quitting my 40-hour a week job and diving headfirst into this, it's definitely something that if you do that, I'm not saying don't do it, but if you do it, make sure you have a nest egg of savings, because even if you put a house under contract in your first week, chances are, one, that would be a very difficult thing unless you're doing it for friends and family that you already know, or you just kind of hit the lucky 8 ball and you get someone. But either way, if you actually get something under contract immediately, that still is going to probably be at least 4 to 6 weeks before you even get paid. So you want to make sure you have a nest egg and actually know that you can afford to live for the next couple of months until you start catching your feet and actually get running in this business. But like I said, a lot of people that treat this as a side gig, or because it has such a low barrier entry, they don't really put 100% into it. Essentially, yes, you hang your license at a brokerage, and that brokerage is technically your boss, but you're basically an independent contractor also. So you have to build your own business. Like, this isn't just something where you get fed leads and you just go out and close them. You have to find ways to get leads. You actually have to pursue them on your own. You have to be very self-motivated in this business, especially if you're going full time. It's your schedule. You're the one that creates your schedule. So if you're not good at being self-motivated and actually sticking to stuff and being really good with showing up every day, chances are you're probably not going to do great in this. But if you actually want to succeed, put your head down and just go for it. Guess what? Like, that's the benefit of real estate, is it can be just like unlimited potential, which is absolutely awesome. So that's why, like, 3 years in, am I exactly where I want to be? Not really. But I also worked part-time for 2 out of these. Like, this year, 2023, is technically my first full-time year where I'm actually working as a real estate agent strictly. The Before that, I was part-time, so I was working about 5 hours in the morning until noontime at an old job, and then from noon until whenever in the afternoon was when I put to real estate. But it's kind of hard because morning are like productive hours for lots of people, especially me. So it was kind of hard getting my footing and actually get going on that. And of course, I worked the weekend, so I was working literally 7 days a week, but I didn't mind it. But I just didn't be able to put the good hours in that I can now. So I'm super excited for this year, see where it takes me. And I'm expecting big things now that I can actually put my head down and fully focus on this job instead of having to bounce between two jobs, which was just a pain. So that's kind of turned into my little background in this video. But if you're looking to do this, it can be a great opportunity. It can also be very, very bad if you just come into it and kind of think you're going to get fed leads and think you're going to close all these houses and get paid tons of commission, because you're on commission. So you get paid when you sell a house. So if you're going to get into it, start selling some houses. But I hope that was kind of a quick little breakdown of what you would need to do. It's pretty straightforward, and you can find this all online. Just simply look up New Hampshire pre-licensing course. You sign up and get running. So if this provided you with some value, please hit that like and subscribe button, as I do release these weekly. And again, if you know anyone that's looking to buy, sell, or invest, or you're someone that's looking to do that, contact info right here and down below. If you even just have a question, feel free to shoot it my way. I'll do my best to help assist you and hopefully give you some type of answer. But until next time.